It's a great honor for me to share a testimony with you, all faithful servants of God from every campus around the world. I'm nothing but a layperson, but I stand here because God's love gets bigger and greater when shared among believers. I know that the goal of your ministry is also demonstrates God's love to everyone, fulfilling His promise. Whoever calls upon His name shall be saved. To my understanding, CCC that also stands for commitment, consistency to Jesus, and the conviction never to give up. The World Trade Centers Association, which I serve as vice chairman, is the world's largest international trade organization dedicated to the promotion of trade, mutual understanding, and the world peace. Starting in the 1970s, with the New York, the World Trade Center, Twin Towers, being initiated by the Rockefeller, the man of God, WTCA now includes 302 the World Trade Centers in 91 countries, producing the worldwide community of over 750,000 international businesses affiliated with the World Trade Center. The philosophy of the World Trade Center is essentially the affirmation of belief that trade among nations brings peace. It might be called my enemy is my friend approach to peace, the whereby heightened levels of economic cooperation among otherwise hostile nations are intended to lead to some form of significant economic interdependence. On September 11, 2001, the world watched in horror and disbelief the highly coordinated terrorist attack on the World Trade Center in New York, Twin Towers, which is our headquarters. Thousands of lives, the innocent men, the women, and the children of 80 nationalities have been lost. Without question, this tragedy has made the world a different place, as the horrific and the wanton disregard of human life has brought the terrorism to the entirely new level. As for Christians who devote the true peace in the Lord, it's a stark and a grim reminder that our work is badly needed and never more important. How cruelly ironic it is that the terrorists targeted the World Trade Center in New York for destruction. This World Trade Center was established as a beacon of hope for the principle of peace through trade. In this moment, I'd like to talk about the September 11 more detailed and more personally. I feel compelled to tell you that we lost so many friends and colleagues who were in the complex. The New York, the World Trade Center, that was an outstanding example of economic success rooted in a society built on personal freedom, tolerance, and cultural diversity. There was also the youthful energy and the enthusiasm behind the phenomenal success of the New York World Trade Center. Sadly, the average of those who perished in the complex was simply 32. As for me, I just had a narrow escape from that tragedy by God's grace. I usually board the 7 a.m. flight on Tuesdays from Washington, D.C. to attend the executive board meetings in New York. Normally, I arrive at the 77th floor office around 8:45 a.m. to prepare for the 10 a.m. meeting at the WTC Club, named Window on the World, which was located at 110th floor, top of the World Trade Center North Tower. But then September 11 was a different routine. The night before, my wife had an allergic reaction to coffee without any apparent reason. That convinced me she should stop drinking the brew. Rather than drinking my normal cup of coffee in front of her, the morning of September 11, I decided to go to a coffee shop at the Washington National Airport. Yet, when I arrived, all the coffee shops they had the extraordinarily long line. Then instead, I went to the soft drink stand where no one was waiting in line, very strangely, and purchased a strawberry juice, the only one menu available. Again, very strangely, they made the mixed juice in the ice cubes even without my permission. I instantly thought that this kind of imprudent practice really shunned the people away from this shop. Well, true is that the shopmate could not speak English. In Spanish, ella no pudo hablar inglés, porque él es el primer día para su servicio. Me parece que ella vino de México Interior, de en estantes. Este es español, ¿sí? Bueno. While flying to New York, around 45 minutes, suddenly I felt a stomach pain like I never felt before. As soon as arriving at the LaGuardia Airport, New York, the effect was immediate. And I ran into the airport restroom. To speak frankly, it was the first time I ever had to spend more than 30 minutes in a restroom in that busy morning and the crowded places. However, those 30 minutes saved my life. Crossing a lot to the strawberry juice and the shopmate, I took a taxi to rush the office. As I emerged from the cab and headed for the World Trade Center North Tower entrance, I suddenly saw the building put into the flame. However, I couldn't figure out what was happening. I clearly saw that terrible hole in number 1 tower, and I thought, my goodness, maybe it's caused by a helicopter, like a movie. But the hole wouldn't be that big. Then I thought it was caused by the small commercial plane, but was quickly denied because it would fly into Hudson River when it must land. However, in worries about other colleagues who were staying for the meeting in the hotel, the WTC number 4 building, I still tried to enter the WTC complex. When I saw the other plane over my head slam into number 2 WTC tower in front of me, it smashed the tower into flames. My first reaction was, my God, the few people would have a chance to escape. If I had not been late 30 minutes, I would definitely have been killed. Well, I was actually listed as missing person for 3 days in New York Times. Any of them who stayed at the floors where I was scheduled to have the meeting at the time couldn't make it at all. They all died. Through this, I truly learned that God's providential hand includes delays that seem inconvenient at the time, but turn out to be a blessing. In contrast, those whom I called that morning and canceled the meeting with, due to my unexpected delay, they all survived. Then I believe God saved other people through us. In other words, we Christians are blessed to bless others, and our blessings is truly contagious. Actually, it's not the first time that I escaped the chaos at the World Trade Center building. I had been in the lobby when the 1993 truck bomb exploded just in the parking garage right below my standing. On Friday, February 26, 1993, as a result of explosion, 6 persons were killed and more than 1,000 injured, with the severely property damage in excess of $500 million. At that day, I had heard the boom less than just 30 feet away as I walked up to the entrance. But lots of things go boom in Manhattan, and they rarely are bombs. That's the New York. Somebody told me that in New York Street, the red light means run. The while green light one means watch out. Well, that's the brave word, like Busan, where you are now here. As firefighters were rushing into the building, I was just trying to get back to my desk for others. Nobody tried to stop me. Then when I walked in the building, the police lines had yet to be drawn. I walked in and saw the carnage. All around, people lay on the floor. Some with blood splattered on their faces. There was an eerie silence. The bomb that blew up just over my head because I stood the lower step just a few steps away. Well, the world really goes crazy, but we are perfectly protected by God. As Jesus said, even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. I truly believe the intercessory prayers offered by others, including some of you, spared my life. Especially my 88-year-old mom in Korea and my wife, they pray every morning for me. And my wife never missed a prayer meeting at the church in 21-year-old marriage. Anyhow, I believe that all Christians, they should be prepared and ready for whatever happens. In fact, we don't know what will happen in the next minute. I still remember the motto for the Boy Scout to which I belonged were, "Be ready," when saluting each other. I hope I would be well prepared to respond to God's calling anytime in readiness as a soldier of God. One of my favorite role models in the Bible is Nehemiah, who maximized what he had and what he was to restore God's people for his country, God's temple for his country, and for his people. Nehemiah was simply a cupbearer for a king. However, when he was listening and sensitive to God's calling in readiness, he could rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down and burned with fire. He does not act without prayer, and he does not pray without action. I like to take full advantage of WTC's influence on the international trade, making the trade as a vehicle for the gospel, for the world mission, namely mission through trade. I believe God will utilize the World Trade Center as a vehicle to more effectively send the lay missionaries, especially professionals like you, to the underprivileged countries. Yes, I like to build the people, God's people, around the world. In an interview with the New York Times, I said horror was answered with heroism, destruction was answered with determination, infamy with humanity. But now I can say the hatred is answered with love, destruction is answered with prosperity, despair with salvation in Jesus. So we go on more determined than ever to fulfill our mission. Dear young leaders for the campus mission from everywhere, I pray God bless you, and who are the strong followers of Jesus until He comes back for everlasting peace. And thank you very much, and shalom to everybody. God bless you.